Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. If you are new here, please like and subscribe for future content. So I was going through the web and I came across the BBC webpage for Captain Marvel. And it reads, Captain Marvel, female-led superhero film labelled Perfunctory by critics. So Perfunctory, for those people who don't actually know, it's an action carried out without interest, feeling or effort. Which, if you read a lot of the reviews for Captain Marvel, they have roughly been, it's okay, it fits, it's entertaining, but nothing spectacular. And going through it does say about it as well. But when you come towards the bottom of this, it's Neil Smith, the entertainment reporter for the BBC. So what he has said, he goes, at the risk of adding yet another middle-aged white male voice to the critical choir, I find myself in broad agreement with the opinion cited above. So Neil goes on to say, I spent a perfectly enjoyable 2 hours watching Captain Marvel on Monday, yet I couldn't help feeling it represented a missed opportunity. It's probably asking too much of one of the few superhero blockbusters to have a female lead to course-correct an overwhelmingly male-dominated genre. Having cast the capable, talented and highly watchable Brie Larson as the heroine, though I sense the filmmakers were unsure how to capitalise on her strengths. While the film is full of amusing moments, Captain Marvel herself is almost entirely humourless. The likes of Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man and Chris Pratt's Star-Lord are never short of self-deprecating quips, yet Larson is required to play things deadpan straight. She also has one of the most confusing and labyrinthian backstories this film fan has ever had the task of untangling. So straight away with that, obviously, I've said in past videos, Carol Danvers only became Captain Marvel in 2012. And she first appeared way back in the early 70s. I believe it was actually the late 60s, just after Captain Marvel, because she was first known as Miss Marvel. And they've decided to go with the Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel. So, obviously, and say in the last 7 years, she has been rebooted 5 times. She's had 5 different origins, and trying to figure out which one to use can be tricky. But obviously, by the looks of things, with what's going on with this film, they may have added a few things they wanted in themselves. Obviously, from the MCU and certain things. Because what I hear is that her power in the film comes from the cosmic cube, or the space cube. And even though it was used and destroyed and everything else, she has no idea what's going on. So straight away, that's like, well, if she doesn't know what's going on, what's the point of having her? Especially if her power comes from that stone. But Neil does go on, she goes, much is made in the film of the remarkable powers Captain Marvel has at her disposal. She can fly, shoot photon beams from her hands, and even walk through walls. What she cannot do, though, is make the makers of the Marvel movies veer sufficiently from their well-worn and highly lucrative template to give her the memorable and distinctive vehicle that she deserves. Again, that has come up in previous reviews of this movie. It does seem to be like they've stuck with the origin story that they've used for past Marvel movies of introducing characters, and they haven't really given her what she needs. Then this is the one that I like here. If Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck had taken half as many stylistic, tonal and narrative risks as Ryan Coogler did while making last year's Black Panther, it could have been a very different story. What Captain Marvel proves, though, is how rarely films of Black Panther's caliber come along, making the Academy's recent decision not to give it the Best Picture award all the more regrettable. Well, with that, I really don't think Black Panther deserved to be nominated for Best Picture. There's been so many more superhero movies that deserved the actual nomination instead of Black Panther. Don't get me wrong, I gave Black Panther a 9 out of 10. I love Black Panther. But to be honest with you, none of the Marvel films are Oscar worthy for Best Picture. None are worth for Best Director. Some for Best Writing, I will hand that to them. But if you want to have a superhero film that wants to be nominated for Best Picture, it has to be The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is still the greatest superhero movie ever made. The Dark Knight was incredible. It still is. Nothing can pass that. It's almost like when Christopher Nolan done The Dark Knight, that was the level that everyone still tries to go through. Look at Logan. Logan was nominated last year at the Oscars for Best Adapted Screenplay because it deserved it. And again, Logan, it tried to go past The Dark Knight, but it just doesn't. That's the thing. But that's right, going back to this quote saying about if Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck had took more risks as Ryan did with Black Panther. Right, Anna and Ryan, this is their first $100 million plus budgeted movie. They've made films beforehand, but all the films before, I think there's 4, maybe 5. Yep, there's 5 films before they done Captain Marvel, and those 5 films, their budget came to $16 or $17 million total. The budget for those films, for those 5 films, is crazy. They were the director, the screenwriter, the producers, and the editors of those films. So, with them, their budget for those 5 films, I think it was the cast budget for Captain Marvel. So it goes to show of that, again, Marvel, they have done this in the past. They have taken indie directors, and these indie directors have made great films. However, not all indie directors are suited for this kind of material. Maybe they should have started on something different, Maybe they could have gone with a $50 million comedy film or a $70 million comedy film. Obviously get the right cast and everything else. But a lot of the reviews I'm actually seeing is that, well, the action sequences, they just look meh and they don't look spectacular. They're unspectacular, which is kind of sad when you look at a Marvel movie. When you look at a Marvel movie and you think, like, okay, this needs to be done sort of thing. But it is sad, I will admit, because when Captain Marvel was first announced at the end of Infinity War, I lost my shit. I will say that right now. I absolutely lost my shit. I thought it was going to be amazing, and again, she's just come out with a lot of shit. I will say this. I've said it on the channel, and it's really upset me that what she has said, because again, you look at it and you're like, well, why are you doing this? It's well. So if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you guys soon.